The team.
Welcome back, 824. Jim along with Buffalo Mark and the Buckeye Boy. The good, the bad, the ugly. What's on your list? We also have good call, bad call coming up in a few minutes. Text or call in. Vote on our Western Slope High School football showdown. 97 Central taking on 2013 Montrose. You can get that in this morning. Chick-fil-A Breakfast Team phone line, 970-242-1340. Vote on Facebook. Click on the profile picture. The poll is there, and you can go to our Twitter feed.
At the Team 1340, both of those T's are capitalized.
Is that a little Saxon that you played?
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Never surrender.
Great stuff. Thank you, man. Thank you. Okay, we're good now. We had our fight in hour one. We're good now. That was a positive bonding moment there. Thank you for playing a little Biff Byford and Saxon.
Yeah, I'm going to try to pull that back a little bit by the end of the show.
Okay, great.
It's a little bit too much forward momentum positivity for me.
All right. 825. Joining us right now on the Chick-fil-A Breakfast Team phone line, played for the 97 4A runner-up Central Warriors. Nate Cambell joins us. Nate, I appreciate it. How are you doing today?
Doing well, Jim. Doing well.
It's
good to be on the show, man.
Well, it's great to have you on the show. It's been a long time, so we'll find out what you've been up to here in just a few minutes. But we're doing our Western Slope High School football showdown poll. The 97 Central Warriors into the Final Four. And that year, look, the game against Hinckley, that was just a wild, high-scoring affair. Unfortunately, you guys came out on the wrong side of that. But that 97 season was such a great season for your football team, for yourself, carrying the football for the offense. You got Brandon Mellon making plays at the quarterback position, Rod Pierce, Daniel Witt, a couple of outstanding receivers, Chris Whiteside at tight end. That offense, you go back to that 97 season, Nate, that was probably the best group of talent on the offensive side in Central Warrior football history.
Absolutely, Jim. I can't say enough of the talent we had. I mean, we played together a long time to put everything together like we did that season. I mean, even the prior season, our junior season, we had a really good football team as well. But it just seemed like everything finally came together that 97 season. And we knew how to play with each other. Everybody knew what to do with their job. And, it was a really, really, really fun year. It was awesome to play with those guys and get to the state title.
I know some of the guys we've talked to, like a Rod Pierce. We also had Luke Roswell in the program. That 96 season, that you guys really felt like you were capable of going much farther. And so that really, it did help to set the stage for what you guys did the following season in 97.
Yeah, absolutely. That team, we had a load of talent on that team as well. And we should have went that season in my mind. Had a couple bad calls there in that quarterfinal game against Greeley Central, and a couple plays we missed, and I think we could have made it that year as well.
Nate Cambell, former running back for the 97 Central Warriors, joining us. Yeah, that 96 game was a heartbreaking loss, 16-14. You lose by 2 points to Greeley Central after going out and outscoring Mitchell in the first round, 34-26. We moved to that 97 season though, and the game everybody seems to talk about in regard to the regular season, the guys that you played with, was the matchup with Durango. That was the game is as important as playing Fruita and Junction and winning those football games were to you guys in terms of a rivalry standpoint. At that Durango game, that really gave you an indication of how good your team was in 97.
Absolutely. They were very, very talented. Marvin Seald, Danny Goolsby, those guys matched up with us better than anybody. And coming into that game, we knew that was going to be the breaking point for the season. Not to take any away from Pruda and Junction, because we did lose the Junction, but Durango was a great team, and they had a spot in that state title game as well. They lost to Hinckley too, but once we got out of that, we knew we were set up pretty good to get there.
Nate Cambell, member of the 97 Central Warriors football team, joining us today on the Jim Davis Show on the team, and you look back at that period of time. You had a phenomenal season. And a couple of actually some great seasons at Central High School before going on to play at Western State. But also you had J.R. Perulis at Grand Junction during that period of time. You had Tyler Hawkins at Palisade. The running back talent in the Valley at that period of time, that 96, 97 period of time, Nate, was absolutely fantastic during that stretch.
Yeah, it was. And it was fun playing against those guys. It pushed you every week to to know that you had that talent. Those other schools, they were great running backs, great to watch, and I was really good buddies with J.R. Perula, so it was made it even better, getting to see him and his success. And I got to give it all to our O-line. Those guys up front just killed it week in, week out. Made it pretty easy on me when you got Rodney and Brandon, taking the eye away from me a little bit and stuff like that. It helped quite a bit as well.
And I referenced this before, Nate, because I got a chance to see you guys play junior football. My son Nick, the one on to play at Palisade, Nick was on your team when he's a year younger than you guys. When you had your heavyweight team and you guys won the title, like you went undefeated that year. You had a lot of the guys we're talking about. You were on that football team. There was Daniel Witt was on that team. Luke Roswell. There are a lot of the guys that were on that team that ended up going on to be a part of the 97 Central Warriors. And you could tell back then that Book Cliffs Chiefs team was kind of setting the stage for it was going to be some really great years for the Central Warriors moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, it started out in sixth grade. I think we won 3 in a row there, 3 Super Bowls there at junior football, and we just kept building from there. We had great coaching. My dad, Steve Roswell, Randy Baker, and most of it, they followed us up, and the type of talent we had then, it just kept building and building, and we had 3 great seasons in middle school, and it just kind of carried on from there.
As a young player, who did you try to emulate? Was there somebody that you saw at the high school level that you were younger that you liked? Pro player, college players? There's somebody that you really, Nate, tried to emulate in your style and what you did carrying the football?
Well, I wouldn't say emulate, but I loved Barry Sanders was my idol growing up, and watching him and seeing the things that he did. Not quite the same running style, obviously, but if I could sit back every weekend and watch one player, that was who I watched.
Nate Cambell, member of the 97 Central Warriors, joining us today on the Jim Davis Show on the team. Let's go back to that season of 97. A game or two, a moment or two, Nate, that will always stick with you when you think about that team. What would some of those thoughts be centered around?
Obviously the Durango game, the way we handled everything, the way we came through at the end of that game as a team and put together that last drive to win that game was something special. And the guys we had around us and the coaching staff and everybody, that was it to me. Also, Regis was a back and forth game in my mind. Very, very talented team, very big team, and could do a lot of things. And, that game was so back and forth and came down to the end there where Rodney stripped the football to help seal the game. And he didn't normally play defense like that, and he came in and made a big, big play for our team, and that'll always stick out in my mind.
Nate Cambell, member of the 97 Central Warriors, joining us today. It's our Western Slope High School Football Showdown. So your memories of the state title game, like I said, it was one of the highest scoring, combined score state title games in the history of football in the state. It was definitely turned into a defense optional game, but unfortunately for your football team, Nate, Hinkle was able to outscore you guys.
They were, man. They were an awesome team. I played with Adam Brining. He was one of their linemen's big cat and was strong as all get out. And I played with him in college, and I remember he returned an onside kick on us on that game, and he never let me live that one down. But those guys were so talented, so fast. They just had us that day. Field was muddy, slick. You can call it what you want, but it was hard to match up with them. We did our best. We didn't play as well as we wanted to, but it was a blast getting there. Came out on the short end, but we were able to put up some points, and it was really fun.
Nate Cambell joining us today on the Jim Davis Show on the team. So what are you up to these days, Nate?
Well, I work for TCC Corporation. I'm a project manager for them. I'm married to my wife Ashley. I got 3 beautiful kiddos. I got a boy and 2 daughters. Living over here in Windsor, Colorado. Coaching a little middle school football on the side for my son. He's an outstanding quarterback at Severance Middle School. So I'm looking forward to seeing him do his thing here coming up.
Now, you mentioned Severance because a guy that I worked with for a long time, I don't know if you know him or not. Do you know Curtis Beetleman?
I do know Curtis. Yes, sir, I do.
I'm sorry.
So sorry. that you do. No, Curtis and I did the show for a long time together. We've worked together for a long time, and one of my very dear friends. And so I saw you said you live in Severance. I'm like, oh, he's got to know Beetleman. You have to know that guy. So hopefully the interactions have been positive, because he can be a bit of a surly cuss. He can.
They have. I don't see him very often, but every time I do see him, it's very nice.
Okay, well, very good.
If you see him on the street, you're more than welcome to hop the car up on the curb and take a ride. If you want.
Wow, Buckeye, settle down, man. Settle down. So you just recently celebrated an anniversary, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah, congratulations, man. Congratulations to you and your wife. So, hey, Nate, great catching up with you, and really enjoyed covering that team when you played. It was a lot of fun. It was a great period of football back in the Valley during that 96-97 period of time. Appreciate the time, as always. Thank you so much, Nate.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, Nate Cambell, former Central High running back and